just gonna sit here and stare at the camera until it cuts off.
Snot.
It's just gonna cut off in the middle of my story, and that's fine. I'm 40 years old. I don't know if you heard that. Come on, give me some applause for making it to 40. I've lived on the road for the last 20 years of my life. It's amazing that I've made it to 40, to be honest with you. That happened. A lot of people were like, wow, the pandemic really took a toll on you. The secret is I've been coloring my hair for years. Just like everybody else, I stopped going to the salon during the pandemic. And after about 8 months, I was like, well, I'm kind of through the awkward middle phase now. I'll never get another chance, you know, to get through that. And so I decided I'm just gonna let it go. Much to the dismay of our manager. Hates it. Some of y'all like it, right? But I wasn't ready to be long-haired gray guy yet, you know? Wasn't quite ready to be Willie. So we're going shortish for a little while and we'll see what happens. Maybe, you know, like William Golden, one day I'll just let it all go. Just stop grooming at all whatsoever. We'll see, but we're a little ways away from that. So in the meantime, I've got this metrosexual hairdo, and I hope it's working for you.
Oh yeah.
It's working for me, and it's way more comfortable in the summertime, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
I've done a lot of really cool stuff in my life, but I'm always, you know, embracing new experiences. I'm always looking for, you know, something fresh. I'm an adventurous fella, and so I'm always trying to do new things, but, you know, at 40, and when you've lived on the road for 20 years, I've done most of the things I wanted to do, so sometimes I have to stretch myself even further to find new experiences. So on my birthday, I pooped at a Waffle House. We're all family here, right? I mean, I'm an old guy now. I've begun oversharing. You know that's what we do. I've decided I'm just going to start early. And by the time I get to 80, if that's a thing, then people will forgive me for whatever I say. You can ask my wife, that's 100% true story. But that's not what I wanted to tell you people. I got my very first tattoo. I would like to unveil it for you folks. There's not much to it. It's a little guy, but it means something special to my wife. Well, y'all know that Jenica Marion is a shark enthusiast. There it is, folks. What's that? Venice? That's a place, yep. Anybody else want to yell out a city? I think she lives in Venice Beach, Florida. Am I correct about that? She knows that Jenica and I often go down there when we have free time and go hunting for shark teeth. I don't know if you guys know that, but Venice Beach has a lot of shark teeth. I guess it was a hotbed for shark activity millions of years ago, and so there's all these fossilized shark teeth if you're willing to dig down in the dirt, which we are. So I recommend it. It's really, really cool thing actually to find fossilized shark teeth. And if you're super lucky, some people find megalodon teeth out there. We have not found that yet, but I encourage you to Google megalodon teeth. And I encourage you to just, you know, never stop seeking out new experiences. Get a tattoo, poop at a Waffle House, whatever you need to do, do that. Now, tell you another story, and I don't know, I can't remember if I've ever told this on stage, probably because I'm getting old. I used to work on a cruise ship, several cruise ships, many cruise ships. But one in particular, I worked on what is considered a 6-star cruise line, Crystal Cruises.
Oh.
It's pretty much just super old, super rich people just looking for something to complain about. I'm not kidding. Our very first performance, we had to wear tuxedos. I was like, what? Okay. So we wore tuxedos, and we were nervous because the producer of the act said, hey, I finally got this contract with Crystal. So we invited me and a couple of his favorite guys to go in there and hopefully make him look good. And we did our first performance, and we know it's all about ratings, so we're waiting for the feedback. And we got one bit of feedback from a lady in the front row who said, our shoes weren't shiny enough.
Whoa!
I'm not even kidding. It ended up being a really fun contract, believe it or not. We figured out how to get them on their side. I just wasn't myself. But it worked out for everyone, and I got to travel all over the world, and I got to visit South America all the way down to Antarctica, even. But we were in, let's see, where were we? We were in Punta Arenas, Chile, and I missed the ship. Yeah, not my fault. There was bad weather, and so they decided to leave early. They claimed that they made an announcement in every single room. Didn't play in mine. So the only thing I would have had to notice as I was leaving the ship, a little board on the side there that said, oh, by the way, we're leaving hours earlier now. Somehow I'm the only one who didn't see that, and a friend of mine that I was with. The only 2 people that did not see this sign. And so we're having a wonderful dinner in Chile, and then we get back to where the boat was. And it's not there. Now, I've heard lots of stories about, people getting there a little late and you see it sailing away, and usually you can commandeer a vessel or, bribe somebody to take you out there, and they'll let you in the side door. This thing's not even in sight. And this friend of mine that I'm with, she doesn't speak a lick of Spanish either, and she's pleading with this guy. She's like, no, you were in the wrong place. Big boat. And I'm like, this is the place. The boat is very much gone. So we go and check with Port Authority, which is the protocol, and our passports are there, which means the boat did in fact leave us. By the way, they hate it when you call it a boat. It's a ship, and they're very serious about that, but they left me, so I'm calling it a boat. Our passports are there. That's what happens when they have to leave somebody behind. They at least leave your passports with Port Authority, thankfully. And it just so happened that the head guy at Port Authority, his father-in-law owned a rental car dealership. The weather was so bad down there rounding Cape Horn, I think it is down there, that's why they left early, and they were having to hightail it around Cape Horn, which is already pretty dangerous. And so it's actually fortunate because the weather was so bad that we weren't able to fly to meet them at the next place, because that is normally what protocol is. It's on you. If you miss the boat, you have to pay whatever it takes to get yourself to the next place. And there was one place at the tip of Cape Horn that you have to go by private plane or helicopter. Thankfully, that was not an option. So next best thing, rent a car and drive 9 hours through unpaved mountain roads from Punta Arenas, Chile to Ushuaia, Argentina. 100% true story. And so, by the time we kind of get this sorted out, we had called the ship, talked to them. They were very understanding. They knew it was nobody's fault really. They left early. We didn't get the memo, so they were cool about it. And they said, it's fine. We'll meet you in Ushuaia, Argentina. We've got you all. We got a guy there who's going to help you rent a car. It's great. And so it's getting pretty late into the night at this point, and we're at this rental car agency, and luckily this guy is still doing this for us. And so we start filling out paperwork, and he turns and says something to his son-in-law in Spanish, and the son-in-law laughs and says, "Sí." And I say, what did he say? He said, he asked me for a ride home. He's giving you his truck. Crazy. Nice gesture, not a nice truck. This thing is from like 1980. Stick shift, which I don't drive.
You do now?
I did. I figured it out real quick, and they said, oh, by the way, he's the only one that knows how to start it. So tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, come here, he'll start it for you. Don't turn it off between here and Ushuaia, Argentina. And I know there's a border crossing involved. There's a ferry that we have to take. And every ferry I've ever been on, they make you turn your cars off. Luckily, it's the Wild West down there. So we were like, we did it. We got up the next morning, bright and early. He came, did all the tricks to get it started for us. We set off on our journey with maps, of course. It's like our phones aren't working down there. Certainly not, they don't know how to get from Punta Arenas, Chile through Ushuaia, Argentina, through the Andes Mountains or whatever that is down there. And so, and I'm not kidding you, it's unpaved, they're just wild mountain goats. It was the wildest thing. But we got on the ferry, they didn't make us turn the car off, and then we come to the border crossing. And it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we have no business being there. We pull up, there's customs and immigration, I guess, but it's just in this concrete shell of a building. No air conditioning, chickens running around. No one asked us why we were there. Just nothing. I just walked in, not speaking a lick of English, put down my passport, and then she had to, of course, wait in the running truck by herself because we can't turn it off. And she goes in, I come back out, and they don't even ask us why we're there. They're just like, enjoy, welcome to Argentina. But we did have one exchange, which is why I'm sharing this story with you. The border agent looks at my passport. Keep in mind, I've just described the scene to you. Concrete shell, chickens, no AC, no paved roads. He looks at my passport and he goes, Texas? I say, see? And he goes, and that concludes Story Time with Tim, folks. Thank you for tuning in.